So if most contractors, let's say me, went before I got really seasoned as a relationship guy, and
Yep.
I was like, well, digging up dirt is digging up dirt, putting conduit under dirt is putting conduit under dirt. What could it possibly be? So do you help these business owners identify them, take them through their culture, or and then
Jeremy,
articulate
that's a good question. Let me just, in my book, put the camera up. In my book, no, there are actually 17 ways to create becauses.
That's 17. That's a bigger number than I would have expected.
Yeah, and I've created them all with companies. And in the book, there's actually case studies of every one of the 17 ways, absolutely explained with people that have actually done these things. So I'll give you an example. Oh, digging up dirt. Everyone goes, yep, that sounds about right. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so some companies, we all dig up the dirt same way, same equipment, same whatever. Okay, well, let's just say, for example, now I don't know your business, one of the things that some contractors, do you subcontract the people digging out the dirt, or does your company do it?
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. No, we subcontract.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my other company over here, they have full-time employees in-house that dig up the dirt.
Yeah.
Who's got higher certainty, right?
Yeah.
It's the one that's got so I worked with a blacktop company. He's like, we're the only company. Now, here's another tip for you. We are the only. What can you say about your business that you are the only?
Right.
You are the only, and that only is valuable to your customers.
Yeah.
Right? We're the only digger-upper of dirt, or in this case, it was like blacktop contractor in the region that has 100% full-time employees. We will show up when we say we'll show up. We'll show up on time. We'll get the job done on time because it's our company.
Yeah.
They work for us. They work for me. Or let's say they're employee owners, or let's say that they're so. Your activity might be a commodity, but your company is not.
Yeah.
Your people are not. Your processes and procedures, the way you approach things is not. There's a company I work for that installs AV equipment in big new builds or renovations, like universities, office buildings. Think about when the AV equipment goes in.
Yeah.
The end. Everything is behind. And the AV installers they need to go shorter, not longer. And think about installing just the equipment you have here. Think about installing AV at scale in a big university building. There's 100 TVs. There's 100.
Oh yeah.
There's cameras. There's this. And there's wires and there's remotes and they all come in boxes and they show up with all these boxes and there's cardboard and there's little parts and there's all this stuff, right? Okay, and you can't be behind, and it's a disaster. And you know what people do? They steal your stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it's AV stuff. Everyone wants to steal the AV stuff. So see all these problems. Insights. So here's what we call these. Insights. The insights can't be late. Pressure under time. Certainty is important. Stuff gets stolen. There's boxes everywhere. There's uncertainty. Yeah. There's and by the way, when you plug it all in, it's got to work.
Yeah.
It's got to work. 100% got to work right all the time. There's a company, actually it's in my book. It's called Lynx. They don't bring all that stuff to the site. They have an entire master warehouse where everything is pre-assembled as it's going to be in the building when it goes in, and they crate it all in a customized way. And so it's all set up, tested, plugged in, pre-done, put in cases, case shows up in the room, boom, 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 we install, done. No boxes, no loss, no theft, it's all.
And then all the parts are there that I'm missing. Yeah. Oh, we don't have this part. And
think about what that is. It's a because.
That's it.
You should hire us instead of them. We're going to have higher certainty, more likelihood we're going to be done on time because we're the only one with a staging area.
Is one of your 17 talk about how to take a weakness and make it a strength?
It does. Think about when you have one of the toughest things, as you probably know right now, is to get tradespeople to do anything.
Oh, well,
and I do a lot of work and really.
And it's, to be fair, people say that it's always been hard to get good tradespeople, right? So that's the same side of the same coin.
Totally.
Yeah, it's always been a problem.
And so to hire, if you run a plumbing company, an HVAC company, or whatever company, they're all coming to me saying, Jerry, we need to help. We need your framework of influence to help influence people to work for us.
Yeah.
Just like we need to influence people to buy from us.
You have a person in your chapter in Denver, Susan Frew, who's really good at finding good people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So the question is, why would I work for you? Just like, why would I buy from you? right? Well, you would work for us instead of all the other companies because what are your proof points about what it's going to be like to work here versus there?
Yeah.
Or work in this industry versus any other industry, right? So think about if you run an HVAC company and all you can get are brand new young technicians. Okay. And you are in a community with a bunch of older people with older homes that don't like young people.
Okay.
Or it's not that they don't like them because they're young. They don't think they're going to be as good as someone who's been doing this for 20 years, right? So you talked about taking your negative and turning it into a positive. Well, think about insights. So the framework is 1, who are you influencing? 2, what are their insights? 3, what is the outcome? The promise, which we're all good at. 4, what's your because, right?
Wow.
So let's think about who are we influencing? We're influencing some people that don't think that young people have the skills as much as a 20-year-old person. What has happened about HVAC or any kind of technology in our homes over the last 10 years?
Gotten smart.
It's gotten smart. It's gotten more complicated. It talks to my phone. And just because I'm older doesn't mean I'm not using my smartphone. I love my smartphone. I love my social media.
But the guy who's 20 years in installing it.
Yeah, wait a minute now. Hold on. How did your negative thing all of a sudden be, can you bring the young kid in who knows how to make it all talk to my internet and my phone and all of a sudden you take your negative and you turn it into a positive because you're following the framework.
Yeah.
Who are you influencing? What are the insights? The insights is complicated, but I want everything to talk to each other. The outcome is we're the best in the whole region at technology. That's because our young reps have been to this factory training. They understand it. They use it in their own homes, blah, blah, blah. They know how to do it differently than anyone else, right?
Yeah.
And so, you can take, the framework will produce results if you follow the framework.
Yep. And I think we're not one to take our competition's name and use it in negative ways when we're talking to people, but you can do the same with their strengths. You can make them weaknesses. The same way.
So I'll give you another nugget out of the book or out of my keynote. Brain science shows us that people are about twice as motivated to avoid what they don't want.
Twice as motivated. Yeah. Okay.
As they are to get what they do.
Okay.
Right. People are like insights. Question number 2. What are your insights of the people you're trying to influence? What do they want more of? What do they want less of? What do they hope for? What do they fear? People are twice as motivated to avoid what they fear is going to happen.
I think
what do they fear is going to happen if I hire you? What do they fear is going to happen if I don't hire you and I hire the guy that's got the subcontractors? I'm afraid they're not going to show up, or it's going to be 2 weeks late, or it's going to, right? Yeah. People are about twice as motivated to avoid what they don't want. So how do you take away things that people don't want or things that people fear? You don't even have to talk about your competitors.
No, yeah.
You can just talk about what you do. And if no one else is talking about it, or if they're not talking about it, they'll think, well, geez, if you do that, you must be saying that those people don't do that.
Right, exactly.
The perception
is almost the opposite of sneaky selling. It's sneaky, so comparing.
When I was the brand manager of Coors Light, and everyone is familiar with, we rolled out the bottle and the can where the mountains turn blue when it's cold enough to drink. I rolled those out. Before we rolled those out, we rolled out another thing that is not as well known. It's called the Coors Light Frost Brew Liner Can. Okay. Now, this aluminum can, inside the can has a blue liner inside the can. What do you suppose that can does?
It must turn color like a mood ring when it hits a certain color.
The liner's inside the can.
Okay.
Can't see it.
So it just keeps it cold?
I didn't say it kept it cold.
Well, it helped.
Let me tell you. Nope, it doesn't even help keep it cold. It doesn't. In fact, and you're making my point. We put here's the secret. You guys want, Jeremy, this is for everybody. You want the secret of the Frost Brew Liner can?
You look right into that camera there.
Every aluminum can ever made has had a liner inside of it. It's always been clear. You can't put aluminum next to beer or it will corrode.
Wow.
We turned our clear liner blue and told you it existed. Yeah. And we gave it a fancy name. We called it the Coors Light Frost Brew Liner Can, and we told you it locks in refreshing frost brewed taste.
And it does, but so does all the others, but you made a point.
So do all the other cans. The first year we turned the liner blue, we made an incremental $100 million.
Oh, my God.
$100 million incremental revenue because we showed you something we were already doing. Here's the thing. You're already doing things. I work with companies to implement this framework.
I want to go. My nature is to go deep on things, and this is not the show for that. But I want to go so deep on how that came about, and how, but I won't. It's not. It's a time for another conversation.
Right. But the point is,
so interesting.
People are like, well, and I'm not saying you should be misleading to your customers.
Not at all.
What I am saying is, over and over and over, when I work with companies, you're already doing things that make you better, that make you special, and many times they're your best kept secret.
Well, that's the point. Is it might kind of the reason I want to go that deep is because every company has these things that they can touch on, but they don't have the dialectic. So here's the thing, especially solopreneurs. I'm alone, I'm doing my business, and I only see what I see, and I'm a hammer and everything's a nail. All right? So I'm doing monologues to myself. But when you invite people, when you ask for help, when you get mentors, when you get coaches, when you go seek knowledge and wisdom from people who've been there, then you get some different perspective. Then when you get these relationships where you can start talking about things, you got dialectic, which is the third truth coming from two different perspectives.
Right.
And without that outreach and trusting somebody and being vulnerable and having real conversations, you don't get any of this. Yeah. That doesn't come by one guy just going, let's look at it. That came from 18 conversations and whatever.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come from one thing typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had a year-long debate on the Coors Light brand about whether, because there's we start with insights, right? What are the insights? The insights are people want beer that tastes good, people that helps them relax, people that makes them socially look cool. There's like these 8 insights, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them was we want our beer to be colder.
Yeah.
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 Thanks.
Yeah.
And so we had a year-long debate on Coors Light about whether we could make our beer colder. Colder than what? Colder than the other beer in the same refrigerator? Like, you see, no one's going to believe us. That's the outcome. The promise they want is colder beer. But what's your because?
Yeah.
If you say, well, our beer is colder, it just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
No, our beer is colder because.
Yeah.
We got the frost brew liner can because the mountains turn blue when it's cold enough to drink, because there's a cooler box. You put ice in the box, because there's a thing called super cold draft. It's poured below freezing because.
Yeah.
How do you take a commodity, something that's the same as everyone else's, and give it a because?
How do you do it? I think one word is intentional. You do an intentional.
Yeah,
and be intentional about it.
You get the book called "They Buy Your Because," and it explains exactly.
But I like the cover. The cover is right there. Is all about commodity.
Yeah, it's
the one differentiator.
It's the blue can.
That's right.
It's a can with a blue liner, baby.
Right.
So my point about telling you about the can with the blue liner is, we didn't even have to say anything negative about our competitors.
No,
Turns out they all had it too. Boy, the people from Bud Light were like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
What's wrong with these guys? And how could they go out and go, well, we have that too.
We have a red liner or what? I mean, right? Like once it's out, right? And so we didn't talk badly about them, but everyone thought, well, Coors Light has got a liner and they don't.
Yeah.
No, they do. It's just that you don't know they do. And
now you do. Now you do. Now you know we do.
Now you know we do. We didn't say anything bad about them.
You didn't even say what it does necessarily.
No.
It contributes to, well, it's there for.
Yeah, no, we did, Jeremy.
But it didn't. It didn't. How it differentiate what it does versus every other can out there.
We told you it locks. It's funny because I'll show this to my audience. I'll show a big visual of the Frost Brew Liner can. It'll be an actual ad, and on the actual ad, it literally says, Coors Light Frost Brew Liner can. It locks in refreshing frost brewed taste.
Right.
And I'll be like, what does the can do? And they'll be like, it keeps it cold. I'm like, or it locks in refreshing frost brewed taste.
But it doesn't say that it more than the competitors or anything.
Nope.
It just I love that. So you're really walking a true, honest statement.
So if you're the first one to say it, you get the benefit. Or if everyone else does it, but you're the one who talks about it and they don't.
That's right.